Velkommen til Poulsbo, Washington's own Little Norway. You won't find another town like it in Washington State or perhaps the nation. Poulsbo has combined its strong Norwegian heritage with a Pacific Northwest flavor to create a culture all its own. The Scandinavian appearance of Poulsbo is an indication of deeper traditions inherited from founders who settled here for the familiar fjord-like habitat that provided work, sustenance, and comfort. When you arrive in historic Poulsbo, you'll be taken aback by the beauty of Liberty Bay and the surrounding Olympic Mountains. Prior to European settlement, Suquamish Native Americans used the bay for seasonal harvest. They referred to the area that includes present-day Poulsbo as Tours+Lats, meaning place of maples. In the mid-1800s, logging camps and a dogfish oil business were operated along the bay at the site of downtown Poulsbo. The bay was then referred to as Dogfish Bay because it was said to be teeming with the sand sharks that provided oil used for greasing logging skids and as fuel for lamps. In 1875, Ole Stubb, an immigrant from Nottsdal, Førdefjord, Norway, relocated to the south side of the bay, becoming its first permanent settler. He was followed by several of his countrymen. The California gold rush of 1849 brought many permanent settlers to Puget Sound. They were after the green gold of the forests for lumber to build infrastructure needed for gold mines. Logging crews began cutting the enormous 6 to 10-foot diameter trees of Dogfish Bay nearest the shoreline, felling gigantic cedars and firs. Skid roads and logging chutes were then constructed to carry logs to the water once camps moved inland. Nearly all local timber had been cut by the beginning of the 20th century, and the logging industry was beginning to slow down in the vicinity of Poulsbo. New industries like fishing and farming were replacing it. Fruit orchards and dairy and poultry ranches were thriving. On weekends, steamboats serving the many docks along the bay carried farmers' wives to the Pike Place Market in Seattle to sell their produce. At the turn of the century, residents were employed on halibut schooners that fished out of Seattle and Poulsbo to Alaskan waters. Captain J.E. Shields' Pacific Coast Codfish Company in Poulsbo was the largest of its kind on the west coast. Residents have built trolling, gill netting, and purse seining boats for fishing halibut and salmon. Oyster plants have processed shellfish at various locations along the bay. Until the 1970s, commercial fishermen stretched their nets out from shores for spawning silver smelt. Traffic through Poulsbo picked up with the construction of the Agate Pass Bridge in 1950, connecting the east side of Puget Sound, including Greater Seattle, to the Kitsap Peninsula via Bainbridge Island. In 1973, the U.S. Navy announced that nearby Bangor would become the home port for its first squadron of Trident nuclear submarines. The subbase was activated in 1977 and is now home port for 9 nuclear subs. As a result of the Trident boom, late 1970s to early 1980s, Poulsbo's population rose dramatically. The community's Norwegian legacy is continually fostered through ongoing education, seasonal festivals, and the daily presence of ethnic food, words, and skills. All are invited to participate in regular events like Viking Fest, Midsummerfest, and Julefest, as well as weekly kafestue lunches and classes taught at the Sons of Norway in Scandinavian cooking, dancing, music, arts, and language. Enjoy the old-world charm and stunning scenery of Poulsbo.